What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 podcast. I'm your host, Brett, and we have just me and Tanner.
Oh.
So, not that Matt really has a lot of football input anyway.
Matt barely knows that foosball even exists.
Yeah. We got our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at EliteNutritionOmaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Or go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln and yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
There's no rides in the Cybertruck. Steve's a liar, so. We also have Rosewood Block. They make the best cutting boards and barbecue. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there as well. It's our picks day, but I think we should talk about last week. Well, actually, the whole season. The Big Ten officiating is fucking terrible, and I don't understand. Do they not go to the same training as everybody else? They fucked up the spot in the Nebraska game.
They fucked up a few spots in the Nebraska game.
But even goes back to which affected me, the Minnesota onside kick, which they fucked them.
Yep.
Which, could have been a serious game changer for them. But yeah, I don't understand. Do they not go to the same training as everyone else does?
Well, so what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to have someone up basically watching the reviews, like watching replays, right? So as soon as the play happens, they're watching it so they can buzz down and change. They can change a call on the fly. Like there's almost no need to stop play.
Well, some of them I think are also just like no calls.
Yeah.
That should be made too.
Holding's always the one everyone talks about. And there are some holds that should go away. Like there's holds you don't call, right? Like if the hold doesn't affect the play.
Yeah, sometimes just let them play football.
There's holding on every play, right? Yes. But if you have a receiver running across the middle and his jersey is being pulled behind him, like that's one that you kind of call because that's stopping the play.
Yeah, there's a lot of plays that a lot of penalties that they call that I think is stupid, but then they'll miss blatant ones. Like I was talking to this morning, I just don't care about the targeting thing. I think targeting's stupid because they don't hardly call it in the NFL.
Yeah,
and these guys are going to go play in the NFL. I mean, I don't understand why they don't match the rules in college. We've talked about it before, like why it's not 2 feet down, why it's not, you know what I mean? Like where you can't get up and run.
Yeah,
because these guys, they're literally going to the NFL is their goal.
Yeah.
I mean, keep the kickoff, though, because the kickoff in the NFL is super fucking stupid.
I actually like the kickoff in the NFL.
That's dumb.
I like it that they put a place that, like, you have to return it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but then so many guys are still kicking it out of the end zone anyway.
Well, they do. They'll kick it out of the end zone if there's a good returner back there, right? But there's a lot of those short, like, higher kicks. And I don't know. I don't mind the NFL kickoff.
I want to see somebody I want to see a gunner coming at top speed and just fucking cut somebody down.
Well, they changed all the cool things. Like you couldn't wedge. You know, remember when we grew up, like they had the whole wedge in front of them, and you have a wedge buster that just goes in there and just freaking hammers the front guy and hopes to take some out.
Yeah, yeah. So, but some of those rules, yeah, the Big Ten, and I don't know. I guess what the other conferences are like.
That one spot was 2.5 yards off.
I don't understand that, especially when there's minimum 2 people that are looking at where the ball's at, where the runner's at.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like I said, I don't know. I don't hear that the Big 12, and maybe they are, the other conference.
I think all refereeing's pretty terrible right now.
And, some people think you should pay them more. Well, how about you just be good at it and get paid more?
They get paid a lot.
Yeah, they should just be better.
Yeah. If you're at the Big Ten, you're getting paid a lot.
They're super shitty.
We should look up how much a Big Ten ref is over.
Because I remember when the NFL got that restructure some years back, their officials, because they get like retirement and all that stuff now. But so yeah, there's that. Also, not college related, but drawing some controversy was.
They get paid less than I thought.
For college, what do they get paid?
$2,000 to $3,000 per game.
That's still like for 4 hours of work. That's pretty fucking good money.
I mean, but so 24 to 36,000 for a football season for like 3 months. Not bad.
No,
but I think NFL refs are making like.
Oh, the NFL refs. Plus, they get like I think they get retirement now, and then if you do, I think the Super Bowl. Obviously, they get a bunch of money.
They get bonuses. I think for the playoffs,
and I think they get rings.
Yeah,
for the Super Bowl. But the NFL drawing some controversy was after the 49ers Cowboys game. There was Brock Purdy was getting interviewed, and Nick Bosa ran up with his Trump hat on.
Yep.
And now he's up for like some fucking fine, was an $11,000 fine or something, because you can't have like messages on your shirt or hat.
Yep.
I'm very confused by that. He can't put that message out there, but you can kneel and not be fined for that. That's very weird. It's very strange.
It is very strange.
And it's very strange that it was, was it because it was a Trump hat?
Well, 100% it was because so I saw some videos that they weren't letting some Hispanic fans in the game because they had Make America Great Again hats on.
Yeah, I was just very confused. I think it could be right. It was like 11,000. It wasn't like, I mean, that's ridiculous money, but for those guys, it was like 11,000 or something, whatever. And it was like a split second that he ran over and did it. But you can kneel you can send a message kneeling during the national anthem, and that's okay.
Right.
It's really weird.
They put a lot of messaging on NFL and.
Do you think if he would have had a Harris Walls hat on,
he would not have been fined?
He would not have been fined.
He would have been made fun of, though.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure the argument back and forth would have been different on this. They would have said, "Oh, well," because they're going to say Bosa deserves it. Yeah. But if it was a Harris Walls, they would have said.
I don't think he would have been fined, but he would have got just like.
But and good for him. And good for him, because I knew what it was going to do, and they've said his jersey sales are like crazy right now.
Yeah. Well, did you see who was like one of the top 5 jersey sales in the league? Harrison Butker.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. So I think that's just silly. After I heard that he was going to get fined for that, but
what cracks me up is that the NFL acts so woke, right?
Well, and you go to the Colin Kaepernick thing. Not only did he not get fined, he got paid a shitload of money by the NFL for whatever. They thought he was getting blackballed or whatever.
And then he's a bad quarterback.
And then he made a bunch of money that stemmed from this whole thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't get fined.
Yeah, he's just a bad quarterback.
He was great when he first was playing, and then he just like went downhill. That's not uncommon.
Running quarterbacks usually don't make it.
Yeah. Did you see that clip of Tom Brady talking about the problem with college quarterbacks?
No.
Or the young quarterbacks coming in? Because, when you're in college, you get that development and you learn how to drop back, how to read defenses, how to make adjustments. And then you go to the NFL and you learn more and more. He goes, but now they're putting these guys in and they have to start them as rookies because they're paying them so much money. Yep. Well, I guess they got the deal's a little different now, but.
Yep.
And he's like, they don't learn anything. They don't know. He's like, they've dumbed down the game so much that they don't get to learn.
It's really funny, speaking of that, and you have to understand Manning, Brady, Marino, like they knew defenses inside and out, right?
Well, they were basically field generals.
Brett Favre.
He could read a defense until way later on.
He didn't know what a nickel was, like his second or third year in the NFL. They're like the nickel backs coming in. He looked at. There's a story that he apparently looked at someone and goes, "What's a nickel?" And he goes, "It's an extra defensive back." He goes, "Oh, who cares?"
Yeah, those guys back in the day were like field generals.
Yeah,
and it's not the same now.
No, I do think that there are a few. I think Raiola is like he sees the field pretty well. He makes a lot of checks. He's a freshman. He's 18, 19. But I think he's going to grow into that. Mahomes obviously sees the field well.
Just your 2 favorite fucking guys.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you could have gotten on your knees any faster to blow those 2.
I wove those 2 right in.
Jesus, man.
Do you know why Raiola is number 15 though?
Go ahead.
Tim Tebow.
Oh.
When he started playing quarterback, he said that Tim Tebow is this like Christian quarterback, so he wanted to be. So that's why he picked the number.
Are you a Tim Tebow fan now then, or?
I didn't ever really. Tim Tebow's a bad quarterback. Tim Tebow's a bad quarterback. Tim Tebow is a freak athlete, but he's a bad quarterback.
He made more money playing quarterback than we did.
That is true.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have.
He made way more than we did.
He did win a playoff game for the Broncos one year.
Yeah. Yep. And again, another guy who got in trouble for
he kneeled
to pray
in a prayer, and he got in trouble.
He got in trouble.
Yep. Can't pray.
Yeah.
Brain's bad.
Yeah. Whatever. So this week's games, there's some
doozies on there.
well, we still get to this whole here's we talked about this the other day. So Colorado has a good chance to be 10-2.
Yep.
And then everybody says, well, it's the Big 12. Okay. Well, what's like super impressive about the Big 10 right now?
I mean,
And everybody always says, well, who'd they play? That's always the thing. Who did play? Well, the Big 10, no one has fucking played anybody until like this week and last week, really.
and the week before.
There were still some games that were not.
Here's what's impressive about the Big Ten. If the playoff were to be done today, they could have 4 teams in it.
Of 12.
Yeah, a third of it.
How many from the Big 12?
1.
How only one? We have Iowa State is undefeated,
They're playing each other.
and then BYU is undefeated.
Only one of those 2 are getting in
But why?
because they were not going to be in the top 12.
But why wouldn't they be? See, this is where the ratings are fucked up, because why aren't they? Because there's teams with 1 loss that are ahead of those teams.
Yeah, because their conference is weak
But how do you, but based on what?
based on the out of league play and who they play. Their conference is weak. It's a weak conference. It's fine. They're going to get 1 in. The SEC is going to get 4 in. The Big Ten is going to get 4 in. The Big 12 will get 1 in.
Is this all just based on, you think, preseason rankings that makes a conference strong or weak?
No. I think it's programs. Like, we all know Georgia's good. We all know Ohio State's good.
But if Ohio State and Michigan left the Big Ten, what would that do to that conference? We have no one that's been a contender in anything. So we have 2 teams that make the conference valuable.
Well, you have 2 in the SEC, Georgia and Alabama, but
you have LSU.
Okay. Rising tides raise all
What's Miami?
ships.
Is Miami the ACC still? Yeah.
But rising tides raise all ships. Like, when their teams are like, when you have great teams, everyone has to get better. I mean, Penn State's solid. Indiana this year is solid. I mean, they're 4. Indiana might be 13.
And Indiana's undefeated.
Yep. And they'll play Ohio State. Second to last week of the season.
Yeah, because the last game was Ohio State, Michigan.
Yep.
But yeah, I was just saying, I mean.
Penn State plays what, Oregon this week?
No, Penn State plays Ohio State.
Oh, Penn State plays Ohio State, yeah.
Which that's our first one. Ohio State at Penn State. This was as of, yesterday I printed it. Ohio State by 3.
I'll take Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's going to beat Penn State in Happy Valley.
Yep.
I didn't know it was called Beaver Stadium.
It is.
I didn't know that. That has nothing to do. That's very confusing to me. I don't know. You think the showing that Ohio State had with Nebraska puts them over Penn State?
No.
So why are you picking Penn State, or why are you picking Ohio State over Penn State, and Penn State's at home?
I think Nebraska had a very good defensive game plan against Ohio State. Once again, I understand week to week has to matter some, but Nebraska barely lost to Ohio State, and Indiana boat rolled Nebraska. Does that mean Indiana's going to boat race Ohio State? No, it doesn't.
What if they do?
It won't happen.
I mean, you also said Nebraska was going to be 10-2.
I did.
So you're taking Ohio State, though?
Yep.
I'll take Penn State. Minnesota at Illinois. Minnesota's picked by 3. I'm going to take Minnesota.
Where's it at?
At Illinois.
I'll take Illinois.
Minnesota's by 3 there.
Okay. I'll take Illinois.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
Northwestern at Purdue.
Ooh, the battle of the shittiest teams.
I think Northwestern's going to win. I think Northwestern's been playing a little better lately.
Yeah, I'll pick Northwestern too.
Oregon at Michigan.
Oregon by a freaking truckload.
You're not going to take Michigan for the upset?
No.
I will. I will take Michigan for the upset.
No. Michigan is just not
Playing
good.
at the big house.
It's fine.
Just saying. You didn't say Michigan. You thought Michigan wasn't going to win last week.
I didn't.
They did.
Yeah.
No, we're just saying. Indiana at Michigan State.
Indiana.
Yeah. Michigan State's not. Indiana's by 8. Wisconsin at Iowa.
Iowa.
I was going to take Wisconsin, so.
Just for the record, I hate Iowa. Okay?
I assume most Nebraska fans do.
I hate Iowa. Hate everything about Iowa. Iowa corn sucks. Okay?
Fucking mouth. I'm from Iowa, so.
Yeah, Iowa corn sucks. Everything about Iowa is crap. However,
it's not valid.
Their defense and their special teams, like I said, I'm going to say this again. I'll say this every week. At the end of the season, when Rule shakes Ferentz's hand, he should walk right over to the special teams coordinator and say, however much money will take you to get to Nebraska, there aren't too many zeros. Just give me a number.
Wow.
He's good. I don't even know his name, but he's fucking good. Iowa special teams are just phenomenal all the time.
Well, if you really look at it, I mean, overall, Iowa usually has a decent defense.
They usually have an elite defense.
Usually has good special teams. They put offensive linemen and tight ends in the NFL constantly.
They just have horrible play callers.
Yeah, it's like, how are they, you know what I mean? If you look at that, like, how are they not really good?
Because they have horrible play callers.
It's just crazy.
Horrible play callers.
But they keep him. They keep Ferentz for like how many years now?
Because okay. I kind of think like he's like the Bo Pelini, Frank Solich. Like he's always going to get you like 7 to 9 wins. But I don't think he's ever going to get you to the championship.
That's what I'm saying. But looking, if you're like the AD at Iowa, you're like, we put all this talent in the NFL.
They can't get a quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you look at it and be like, you know what? We have all this talent. Why don't we bring in a different coaching staff?
I don't know. But Ferentz, here's where they're good at. They take a lot of, Wisconsin does the same thing. They take a lot of 2 or no star linemen and they work them for 3 years and then they become studs, right? Watt was, I don't think Watt was rated. JJ Watt, I don't think he was rated coming out of high school. But they take these players and they turn that they're developmental. Mm-hmm. They do a very good job with that. The problem is that as a program, that's a great recipe for success for everything you were talking about: defense, special teams, offensive linemen. But quarterbacks won't stay.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like you can't develop a quarterback, so they're going to have to grab a transfer quarterback, which they tried. They got the Michigan guy.
And now you can go out and like buy quarterbacks. So I don't understand.
They're going to have to go. If they need to go buy a quarterback.
And I don't know what their NIL cash flow situation's like there.
Probably decent. It's probably not. It's probably not huge, but it's probably decent.
Yeah. Then we have USC at Washington.
USC
is picked by 2.5. I was going to say that too.
Washington is good and terrible all at the same time. I don't know how they manage it, but they have a lot of talent and they seem to lose a lot.
And then UCLA at Nebraska. But the points went down.
Okay.
So people must not be that confident in Nebraska.
Well,
on the money lines must not be.
Nebraska.
Well, I understand that.
Are you picking a UCLA?
No, I picked Nebraska. But UCLA has been playing better than they were.
Okay. Well, they were playing pretty bad, so.
What's your prediction for the season now?
9-3.
Going 9-3, huh?
Yep.
Wow. Sticking with that, huh?
Yeah. Went out.
We have a bye week after this week?
Yep. Which is a really good time to have a bye week before you have to travel to the West Coast and play USC.
And then have Wisconsin at home and then at Iowa.
Yep. Went out.
I think they're going to win it out, huh?
Yeah. Just mark it down. You just pre-print your sheets off. Just mark it down.
Oh, well, I already know where you're going to pick every time. Except you did pick that they would lose to Ohio State. Oh, you said it would be a weird score.
I said it was going to be 19-12, which I wasn't that far off.
No.
I was not that far off. I said it'll be you're going to have a weird score in there.
It was,
it wasn't a weird score.
I was completely surprised that was the score of that game.
Yeah. But I said it was going to be ugly. Like if Nebraska was going to win, it had to be an ugly game. And it was kind of ugly. But they did, like Nebraska uglied it up. Nebraska had chances. But that
Their
spot
offense just can't. That spot
that spot on Lloyd by the goal line was at least a half yard off too, and that can make a difference. It makes a difference in your play call. You know what I mean? Like on the fourth down, or it might have been 2 plays before when we went forward on fourth and goal. It was on that drive. Lloyd's spot was a half yard off.
Yeah, the officiating's terrible. I just don't understand how it's so bad.
It's pretty terrible. And they like apologize and rules like, you know what? Being an official's hard, but you guys suck. Fix it.
Well, and they like just keep making it like all the Big Ten just keeps doing is making apologies for every game they fuck up.
Yeah, quit.
Oh, sorry, we missed that. Oh, sorry, we missed that.
Well, and I understand that at the end of the first half, we were probably going to get 3 points anyways, right? And he,
the guy just figured out how to kick now.
Well, they've always said he had a big leg. He just is 50. Rule has said he's 50-50 from anywhere on the field, basically. He's 50-50 from 30, and he's 50-50 from 50.
Because I assume that Alvano's like not coming back this season.
I don't think so.
Doesn't seem like it at this point.
No.
I mean, there's some weeks left.
He made some kicks, though. Hool did.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, but Alvano's not coming back.
No.
Yeah. It's going to be, there's some good games this weekend. Any of these games could go either way. I mean,
Well, we have a lot of different picks, so.
we do.
At least a couple.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Penn State's going to take that one, though.
I don't think so.
But the Michigan one, that's why I'm going for the upset.
Michigan's not good. They have no offense. None.
They got 6 wins.
You're going to have to score points
They
to
got 5. That was their 6th, right?
5.
They got 5.
Yeah.
So they need one more for a bowl game.
They
do play Northwestern still, I think, though.
They're going to have to score points to beat Oregon.
We'll see.
What's so good about the Big Ten? 3 of the top 4? That would be it.
I've never taken any I've never given any credibility to the ranking system. I don't think it's that great when they just do, especially preseason rankings.
No. I mean, preseason, like, I would be completely fine. Here's the thing. They have put preseason rankings out there because it sells, right?
Of course. I mean, they shouldn't even put rankings up until like fucking week 8.
I mean, really, it doesn't really matter. But, and then Boise State will probably make the playoff too.
After they got fucked like how many years ago?
They'll probably make the playoff.
And I just hate the idea when people are like, well, they shouldn't even go there. It's a week. It doesn't matter. Let them go get fucking beat. Or maybe they'll upset people.
Well, it's the
same thing as the fucking NCAA basketball tournament. You have that Cinderella team that fucking beats everybody that isn't supposed to.
6 teams beat ones now. But Boise State, I think it's the highest rated non-Power 4 team makes it. It gets an automatic bid. So that'll be Boise State probably.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, they need to restructure the whole thing anyway. There needs to be a lot of things need to happen. There needs to be contracts. There needs to be all kinds of things. I think they should have any of these NIL deals should be a 2-year deal, and if you redshirt, it's 3 years. You have to stay at that school.
Arch Manning's leaving Texas.
Unless your coach leaves. Then you have an opportunity to get out of it, possibly. But I think these need to be deals because these kids are just fucking taking money and skating, and then if you get developed and you just skate out on somebody.
Okay, here's the problem.
The NCAA fucked it up.
I understand what you said, but the NCAA was so stupid for so long.
100%.
And fucked kids for so long.
They could have fixed this years ago by even just letting these kids get paid to do autograph signings.
Yes. Like you would have been in a way.
It all came from, what's his name, Sam Keller or whoever was
that was one of them.
Because the NCAA football game.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is let these kids fucking do things to make money on the side.
Yep.
You even had to stipend them. But the NCAA doesn't care because it doesn't affect them.
Well, yeah.
The NCAA's out no money in this deal.
No. It's all the schools.
The schools are, the donors are, whoever else. They don't give a shit.
They need to put unfortunately, they need to put some guardrails on, but it was so fucked up. Like, they fucked it up from the very
this goes
beginning.
back to that fucking, I was years back, that Colorado player that was a skier. And he went to the Olympics and took a sponsorship for the Olympics and lost his scholarship for football because he took a What kind of fucking scam is that? Or these kids can't do football. Well, can now, but they couldn't put on a football camp and get paid for it.
Right.
Or heaven forbid your uncle take you to lunch and pay for it or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were so strict.
But and I'd heard at one point, I know the truth of it, that you could be on a music scholarship.
You could.
And you could teach lessons and get money.
I told you this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you wouldn't lose your scholarship.
No, they encourage you to do it.
But you can't do a football camp and make money.
Nope. If you were a chemistry major and you went on a full ride academic scholarship, you could tutor chemistry to kids and make money.
Yeah, and you can't teach a football camp.
Nope. That was the problem. I don't really. Unfortunately, you know how this goes. The pendulum swings, right, and it never swings back to middle.
Well, it goes back to the new middle.
But it has to. If the pendulum was over here with the NCAA, it has to go to here. Like it won't come back to here. It has to go way, and then they'll figure it out eventually. And
there's predictions of people just basically of the NCAA being eliminated from college football.
Well, I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised. If you want to know where I think college football will be in 15 years,
it'll be an NFL D League.
It'll be the Big Ten and the SEC will have consumed all the good schools. You'll have between 48 and 64 teams, 24 and 24, 32 and 32, and you'll have those two will run basically everything, and you'll end up with like a Super Bowl champ with the winner of each side, like the AFL and the NFL combined to that. Was it the AFL and the NFL?
Yeah.
Combined to the NFL, right? AFC. That's what you're going to end up with. You're going to have the Big Ten and the SEC they're going to end up running it.
Well, yeah, I think the NCAA will be pushed out of college football.
The NCAA doesn't even do the championship. They don't get paid for it.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
It's the BCS, right?
Yeah,
or college football playoff now, but it was a BCS and then it was college football playoff and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it develops. But yeah, these kids, there needs to be restructured, some contracts. There's too much money floating around and people not committing to things and skating on teams and shit like that.
Well, but Arch Manning, he's leaving Texas because he's not getting paid. And that kid from UNLV,
I thought he was getting paid.
There's something wrong with his NIL deal didn't go through like they was supposed to.
Because I thought at one time he was supposed to get paid, and he said if he wasn't a starting quarterback, he didn't want to get paid.
Right. There's something with his NIL deal now.
Well, I think because that Ewers is pretty good. I don't think Manning's probably going to start for a little bit.
Well, Manning did start this year.
Well, he did because that kid was hurt, though. But I mean,
and he played out of his fucking mind.
And that kid's good. I'm just saying he's probably how old is that kid that's playing?
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the NFL next year.
Oh. But yeah, so where's Arch Manning going to go? Tennessee? I mean, just because Peyton played there.
I mean, he can go. I mean, whoever wants to write him a big fucking check.
Yeah.
It'll be a big fucking check. He could end up at Ohio State. I have no fucking idea. I would guess it's Ohio State, Alabama, maybe Tennessee, just because they have some connection. Could be LSU because there's a Manning connection down there.
Where did Eli play?
Didn't he play at Ole Miss?
Yeah. Whose kid is he? He's the other one that didn't play, right?
Who?
Arch. He is the one that didn't play football. That's his kid.
The oldest. I think it's the oldest brother.
Yeah, whatever his name is. They always say that. Well, he was even better than the other two, but he just couldn't play. They always say that shit. Yeah. But yeah, so I could go to Louisiana Tech.
Colorado
is going to be in rough shape next year because I'm assuming that Deion's going to leave with his kids.
I don't think Deion really loves coaching. I think he loves coaching his kids.
Do you remember when you were in school and you had like that parent that was like a teacher?
Yeah.
At the school and they would just like follow their kids?
Yeah.
Or they were like a teacher's aide and they would just like follow their kids through. That's all he was doing.
Yeah.
He'll be like Al Harris is on the Cowboys. You know, Al Harris is like their DB coach. He was like a volunteer at first, I think. Deion will just go wherever his fucking kid gets drafted. Because I think Shedeur will get drafted. I mean, he's a good quarterback.
By the Cowboys.
He's a good quarterback. I don't know that he'll get drafted by the Cowboys, but
they're going to get rid of Dak.
He does have
Shedeur in.
Shedeur does have. I mean, he's got a skill set. He's got to tune some things up, but
yeah, he's a solid quarterback.
Yeah, and obviously Travis Hunter's going to go. Travis Hunter should win the Heisman, just out of pure effort alone.
I mean,
he's played twice as many downs as anybody else in college football.
I mean,
and at top level, like he's playing top speed all the time.
Well, he's supposed to. I mean, it's supposed to be the best player in college football. It'd be hard to say that he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super impressive. And to play, a DB and a receiver where you're just constantly sprinting downfield.
And
it's not like you're playing like tight end and like D end where you're like, it's some work, but you're like not moving a long way normally.
Center and nose guard.
Yeah. Yeah, he should. But when he leaves too, obviously Travis Hunter will probably be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Unless something drastic happens to him. But yeah, he'll be, if they go back and find a tweet from 20 years ago that he did when he was 3 years old.
Doesn't matter about that. But he's freaking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing that Deion's going to leave Boulder anyway.
He's little, though.
Yeah.
I think he weighs like 161 pounds.
Yeah, but CeeDee Lamb's like real lanky and doesn't look very big, and that dude takes some shots.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what do you think he'll play in the NFL? Do you think he'll play DB or receiver? Or do you think they'll...
Deion thinks that he should play both ways in the NFL, too. Which Deion did. A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But, like...
he didn't play every down. I think he played every defensive down, but not...
Yeah. But like even Deion said, if you're not going to play him, you got to at least have some packages for him.
Yep.
So...
He's fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow with these predictions.
Yeah.
Was it the 11 o'clock game was the Ohio State game. Nebraska got the 2:30 game.
Big noon kickoff.
I'm not a big 2:30 game fan.
You're not?
Nah, it's like middle of the day. Like, you can't really do anything. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean...
I like 11 o'clock then because like it's done, or you like do all your shit you want to do in the day, and then there's the night game,
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, you can get a bunch of shit done in the morning. I mean, you're not a teenager. I'm not guessing you're sleeping until noon.
No, not on Saturdays. Yeah. So, all right, well, let us know what you guys think of our picks. Let us know what you think of the Big Ten officiating.
They suck.
You can let us know what you think about.
And once again, I am not a guy who goes after officials very often. They're fucking bad.
Yeah. Or, you can let us know what you think about the NFL and their weird wavering policies towards what you can and can't do.
You can't be conservative.
Yes.
Even though all their fans are.
Yes. And, this will come out actually today on Friday, but, our next one won't be out till the election's over. Well, apparently voting won't be done. The counts won't be done.
They should be.
I don't know how that all happened because for how many fucking years all the votes were counted. You knew that night.
Yep.
Who was the president, and then all of a sudden...
With all this technology, we can't count votes.
Yeah, we've actually gotten... With all the technology, we are less efficient at counting ballots.
Yeah. Maybe they just do paper ballots.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, very odd.
So, but you know what? With the whole election thing, just be fucking kind to people. Jesus. Like, it's not that hard. Like...
Okay, well, I mean, if we're going to be honest, if Trump wins, there could be riots. If Kamala wins, there won't.
Yeah, it's just in general.
I'm just saying, am I wrong?
Dude, who knows what's
Am I wrong? I'm not.
I just in general, just be nice to people. And and you don't have to constantly post on fucking social media talking complete shit about the other people all the time. Especially if it's not true. Stop posting things that aren't true. Do some fucking research. Fuck, like just saying things because you heard it one time doesn't mean it's true. It does not mean it's true.
Right.
Watch the person actually talk.
Right.
And hear what they say.
Hear the words.
Not
yourself.
just not the way
and not
someone,
just the clip.
Yeah.
And just I think this is an important message for people. If you see a change in the camera, right? Like if something happens and it cuts to a different part of it, something's missing.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're watching and you see that change, know that it's cut. So whatever they cut out is probably something that you should go find before you say your opinion.
Yes. Yeah, but just do some research. Watch the actual speech. If you don't watch the whole thing of whoever you're watching talk, watch the before they say the parts you've seen and the after. To see what was actually said. But yeah, just in general, that's in life in general. Don't believe everything you read there. That's why fucking clickbait is so successful on the internet.
Yep.
Don't be stupid. And be a little less shitty every day.
Or a lot more shitty. Be a lot less shitty. Not even a little. Just try and be a lot less.
But also just be nice. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, most people are nice people. Doesn't really matter what their political views are. They're usually nice people anyway. So, anyway.
Anywho.
Yes. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.